It's been some time since I covered good old Mutahara. It's been some time since I covered Mutahara, right? Right? Good old Muta. It has been some time. I think the last time I covered him was during the whole Nuktuk situation, which a couple months ago since now, and how that whole mess ended up blowing up in his face. And now, most of his friends don't even talk to him. He doesn't really cover drama. But you know what he's been on the news for again? Doing what every online grifter gamer person does, and they go back on their words. And guess what he decided to do? He decided to, I don't know, how can I say, uh, buy a Nintendo Switch 2 and did a review. Wow, imagine being convinced by Mutahar that the Switch 2 is gonna fail, or just don't buy because Nintendo, which rightfully so in a way, is kind of anti-consumer. It's just don't buy it. It's not worth it, guys. Just don't buy it. Trust the plan. The Patriots are in control. Right? The Patriots are in control. And you know what Munar decided to do? I'm gonna buy a Nintendo Switch 2 when he told everybody, and everybody was making laps about him. Good job, Muda. Good job. You done did it now. We are gonna watch the video, or I'm just gonna show a clip of it. But we're gonna move on to something else, which is the Nintendo sales have mind you, this is from like a week ago, right, a little bit more than a week ago. So I don't know where sales are at right now as we currently speak. But Nintendo Switch 2 is gonna flop like the Wii U. Brother, it sold a quarter of the Wii U entire lifetime sale in just 4 days. Yeah, the Nintendo, yeah, this is from June 10th. So this is almost like what, almost 2 weeks now. Nintendo Switch has sold over 3.5 million units worldwide in its first 4 days, become in 4 days kind of more or less broke a record, right? Right? I mean, now as we currently speak, I believe the Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling console in Japan, right? I believe it shatters some records. And I mean, because of that, it made every gamer influencer and grifter look like a joke. Look like a joke. I'm here for it. I mean, on one hand, just like Mutohara, all these gamer people are hypocrites. On the other hand, what do you expect? You gotta make money somehow. And this is one way you can make money.
On a disc, quite literally. Now, I always think voting with your wallet is the most important thing you can do. I would go as far as to say this is not only a scam, but also if I'm gonna spend $700 on something, it might as well be an AMD GPU that I can put in the Muta box down in my basement. You're probably looking at I think $800 at least after taxes in Canadian buckaroonies to go pick up a little handheld switchy. There's going to be a lot of people who are trying to convince their wives' boyfriends to put that money down. I don't know why you would even buy the Switch 2, unless it's obviously for the exclusives, when the exact same functionality it has existed for a while through Lenovo. It seems like Nintendo has an even further grip on what you can and cannot do with the shit that you buy. Now, if you want to contest this, okay, the easiest route, and I'll always say this, is vote with your wallet, right? Don't get a Switch 2. Maybe just get the Steam Deck, okay? The only game that I would be interested for on the Switch 2 would be Cyberpunk 2077. A game that I have a DRM-free copy of from GOG that I've also just installed onto my Steam Deck. And sure, it might not run as pretty as the actual Switch 2, but this system is here in the now. And it actually is respectful comparing itself to the actual Nintendo Switch 2. Vote with your wallet, right? Don't get a Switch 2.
And I'm sure you can already guess chapter 2 of this story here. The Nintendo Switch 2 releases, and that shit has been gobbled up like a bowl of cereal by a ton of people that were very outspoken against the Switch 2 and talking about like they won't be purchasing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I made a mistake. I ended up buying that Nintendo Switch 2, even though I said that I was going to hold off. I wasn't just going to go buy it outright. And there I was, going on a midnight release, and I ended up picking it, just on a walk-in. And the only thing I'm really thankful about here is I could be apologizing for, like, as a YouTuber, there's apology videos that I've watched through my career where people have done really terrible things. And ultimately, this might be one of the worst things that I've done. The biggest sigh of relief for me is to sit over here and apologize for purchasing a video game system, right? There's a lot of things that a YouTuber can do that would be very illegal, very wrong, ethically, not even just legally, that I could sit down here and apologize for. And that is the only thing that I've really thanked God today for not doing. So when that video came out and I was like, I'm reading the comments, I'm like, yo, they're eating this shit up. What the You guys are the worst people. You cannot critically think whatsoever. I could apologize for far more worse.
Go look into this guy.
And once again, imagine being Mutahara. Now, I can imagine that a lot of people who still enjoy his content are still gonna like cope and seed, right? It's pretty bad. Shout out to Comment Cop for the little clip he did. Saved me a little bit of time. But it's pretty bad that that he's a hypocrite, and I think that should be telling. That a lot of these people are hypocrites. A lot of these people will be hypocrites, and there's nothing that could be done at this point, right? He made his bed. He would, for months, for weeks, for days, right, going on about why you shouldn't buy the Switch 2, and he did it himself. And he probably isn't the only one who bought a Switch 2, right? But don't be surprised if your favorite, grifter or whoever bought a Switch 2 as we speak right now. Right? At least at least the ones who were shit talking and still admit that, yeah, I'm probably still gonna buy one anyway. Oh Mutahara, how you've fallen so hard. Till then, y'all, have a good one, be safe, and as always, God bless.